What's up? That's right. The new Scary Movie, also called Scary Movie, funnily enough, just kind of like the legacy sequels of Scream and Halloween were all those years later, comes out this coming Friday. So I've rewatched the original from 2000. So this will be my review. There'll be some spoilers in here as well, because, film that came out like 26 years ago. So there'll be spoilers for not so much the plot, but the jokes and everything like that. So, you know, uh, be warned, if you've never had the chance to see it, I will go into some of the jokes and things like that here. So overall, yeah, this is a film I haven't watched for a good few years. I've usually do my Halloween season review series, and I've been meaning honestly to watch this over every year I've been doing this. I've been and maybe tie it in with that. But now, the way things have worked out, it's worked out kind of perfectly. We've got a new film in the franchise, so doing the rewatch there and doing the review here kind of works out in terms of relevancy and things like that. And yeah, it was actually really good fun to rewatch this. Now, this is a favourite comedy of mine. I think it's held up really great over the years for me because it's been a good few years since I last properly watched it. And even though I knew where certain jokes were coming and I knew where certain lines and all that, I was still sitting there laughing, entertained by it. It's about an hour and 20 odd minutes, so it's so easy to watch. It just zips in, zips out, bing bang boop, there you go. So easy to watch. And it's just great fun. And look, I get it. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I'm not going to sit here and say this is some sophisticated, great comedy. Although I do think there is a very, very clever joke at the end, and we'll get to that. But the most part of this film is dumb as fuck, but it's entertaining as fuck, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. Now, you've got even the characters just work really well. They stand out for me being like Marlon Wayne's Shorty. Shit, so he's just so fucking entertaining. That character could have been so annoying, but it actually just works. It just works. He's annoying in the right kind of way, and it's a hard. I've mentioned this before in other things. It's a hard thing to pull off with us. So, but he does it incredibly well. I've got as well Sean Wayans as Ray. That's a character that a lot of people, especially nowadays, are not going to like him. It's like you're now doing a big mainstream film in which you're taking the piss at something like that, and some people are not going to like it. You can already see in some of the social media posts and things like that when they're talking about this film. But with the film Twitter people and all the little phony activists there. But look, at the end of the day, a joke's a joke. As long as you're not absolutely showing pure hatred for people or anything like that. I think the ambiguously gay Ray as it was, but there's a lot of funny moments as well. It's like when he's got the like put some music on. He's got put this tape on, and it's raining men and things like that. And then but then later on, it kind of ties in later on when it's like the other guy Bobby. He's like, well, I'm gay, and so are you, Ray. And he's just like, no, I'm not. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute, you took me to that club. It's like, yeah, they play good music there. I'm just thinking, thanks for that. So I do think that works really well. But a lot of people aren't gonna like saying that, but whatever, it is what it is. But like Happy Pride Month, I suppose. But live and let live, live and let live, and live and let love. So, but that's what I'm gonna say. I know some people say, "Oh, you're a homophobe for saying that," for laughing at this, but like I said, a joke's a joke as long as you don't have hatred in your heart for it. So but whatever. We'll see how this goes down with the modern audience or the so-called modern audience nowadays. But yeah, another great thing is Anna Faris here as Cindy. She's great though. An absolute comedy star was born here. She's gone on to have, sorry, a really great career in comedy as well. She plays the ditzy, dumb character so well, and she's made a really good career out of it as well. And she's very talented, very funny. Her timing's impeccable. So she is excellent here. And to be fair, it's funny enough, even though Scream's my favourite horror franchise, I've actually watched more non scary movies, uh, like movies that Anna Faris has been in than any non-Scream movies that Nev Campbell's been in. So there you go. Figure that what you will. About who's more talented. I'm just saying. But you know, so yeah, there's some really good stuff here. And it holds up as well for me over the time. And of course, some of the stuff's going to be dated for people. Like obviously, I did the WhatsApp at the start of the Budweiser ads, which a lot of people will be like, "What the fuck's that all about?" Uh, but and then yeah. And of course, this was the first film to actually properly do a Matrix parody. I did mention this in my Shrek recording a couple of weeks ago. How Shrek did it. Shrek did it. Both this and Shrek did it before it was completely done to death. But this beat Shrek to the punch by just about a year because this came out in 2000. Shrek came out in 2001. So you know, and then after it, it was constant Matrix parodies and everything like that. So you know, and it works very well, especially a little river dance bit when she's in midair. I mean, come on. Just great stuff, whatever. Uh, so, and then again, I have mentioned, I do think the film kind of starts to run out of steam a little bit towards the end, although, uh, but then again, it's only about an hour and 20 minutes. The last real peak before the ending, and we'll get to the end in a bit, is like the Brenda character watching Shakespeare in Love in the cinema being obnoxious. And they've even started doing like, when I went to see Mandalorian and Grogu last week, they actually did have a little PSA turn your phone off thing as well with this promoting the new scary movie and everything like that, which I thought was a really nice touch with that. Uh, but this was a great scene as well. And then she's like filming the guy. She's like, "You're on camera. You're on the camera." And then the phone goes off with the old and everyone just groans in unison, like in the cinema. It was so good. And then she pulls out like the old big brick mobile phone as it would have been at those times. And it's brilliant parody of Scream 2 as well when they just start, everyone starts stabbing her. It's like, it like mocks the Jada Pinkett Smith murder from the start of, or character's murder from the start of Scream 2. Speaking of which, brilliantly done as well as when Ray's in the toilets and it does the like the stabbing through the head scene, but it's like he gets stabbed through the dick with the dick tickling. Like I'm not saying this is big or clever, but it makes me laugh. All right, okay, is that allowed? All right, nowadays, oh, I don't know, maybe not, but still. And then we come now, but there is one. As much as I like all the silly stupidity here, there is one very clever joke here. I mean, it's all revealed that Doofy was actually the the one behind it all along. And then they parody the usual suspects, so it's not just horror films or anything like that. But you know, when he's doing the limp and then it starts walking properly towards the car, and we're like, that is actually a bloody good joke. That's actually genuinely clever how they did that. So you know, well, I think it is anyway. So, you know, and the way it's done, very well done. So, yes, Scary Movie from 2000, the original Scary Movie, is one of my favourite comedies of all time. And it was great to rewatch it again and have fun for the first time in a good few years and just have fun rewatching and being entertained by it all. Now, as far as the franchise as a whole goes, this is by a country mile the peak. I mean, the second one's all right, third one's all right, fourth one's all right. Fifth one, I vaguely remember watching and then didn't have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. I was just kind of like, I vaguely remember watching it and I don't remember anything about it. So that kind of either tells you that, although obviously I didn't particularly like it if I don't remember anything about it. But then I obviously didn't hate it either, because if I really hated it, I would have remembered it and said, I was complete shite. It was just like, whatever, it kind of exists. But the trailers, what I've seen in the marketing from this new one coming up, does look really good. I do think we are, I get it. I know a lot of people nowadays don't want offensive comedy coming back or anything like that, but you know, and it's saying the line the tagline saying that no, like every line will be crossed or something like that. You're just like, yeah, we're kind of needing it, especially with these annoying little social media activists. I know there was something like Film Updates showed something about one of the Wayans said in an interview about some of the stuff they're going to joke about, and you can tell what the Twitter comments replies are like. You're just like, no, you can't joke about that. Yeah, it's terrible. You're just like, whatever. Here we go. But anyway, time will tell. But whatever. But you know, Scary Movie 2000, really good fun to watch it. And even if the new one doesn't turn out to be any good, at least it gave me a proper excuse, a proper reason to rewatch it and talk about it again. Rewatch, sorry, the original and talk about it again, so, which was a real pleasure. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to listen, and goodbye.